Hello and welcome. Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Gautam Roy, and coming up in the next 30 minutes, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi witnesses a demo of agriculture drones by Namo drone Didis as part of a women's empowerment drive, says women are capable of leading 21st century tech revolution. The Prime Minister also unveils and initiates 114 national highway projects spread across the country, including the inauguration of the Haryana section of the landmark Dwarka Expressway. Ramadan truce in Gaza eludes negotiators in Cairo. President Joe Biden says the US will continue to work non-stop towards establishing a 6-week ceasefire in exchange for hostages. And Oppenheimer booms at the Oscars, winning 7 of its 13 nominations, including Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor and Supporting Actor. Emma Stone stems the Opry tide, bagging Best Actress for Poor Things. Now, a program marking significant boost for women's empowerment. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the Sashakta Nari Viksit Bharat program at the Indian Agricultural Research Institute in Delhi. Among the highlights of the program was the demonstration of agricultural drones across India by Namo drone Didis. Financial support worth $1.2 billion was also given to self-help groups, either as bank loans or through capitalization support fund. The Prime Minister also presented certificates of appreciation during the program to Lakhpati Didis, which means financially independent and secured sisters. Prime Minister Modi also handed over drones to 1,000 Namo drone Didis. The PM said that women are achieving milestones in every field, including the IT sector and fields of science. He added that India has the highest number of female commercial pilots in the world and that women are capable of leading the technological revolution of the 21st century. PM Modi said that any society can move forward only by creating new opportunities for women's empowerment.
समाज हो वो नारी शक्ति की गरिमा बढ़ाते हुए उनके लिए नए अवसर बनाते हुए ही आगे बढ़ सकता है। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से देश में पहले जो सरकारें रही उनके लिए आप सभी महिलाओं का जीवन, आपकी मुश्किलें कभी प्राथमिकताएं नहीं रही और आपको आपके नसीब पर छोड़ दिया। मेरा अनुभव यह है कि अगर हमारी माताओं बहनों को थोड़ा अगर अवसर मिल जाए, थोड़ा उनको सहारा मिल जाए, तो फिर उनको सहारे की जरूरत नहीं रहती है, वे खुद लोगों का सहारा बन जाती है।
And the Prime Minister also visited Gurugram in Indian state of Haryana to unveil multiple national highway projects on Monday. The Prime Minister inaugurated and laid foundation stones for 114 national highway projects spread across the country worth more than $12 billion. Besides other projects, the PM inaugurated the Haryana section of the landmark Dwarka Expressway. This will help improve traffic flow between Delhi and Gurugram on NH48. It will also provide direct connectivity to the IGI airport in Delhi and Gurugram bypass. Prime Minister Modi said that Dwarka Expressway will ease congestion between Delhi and the national capital region.
इस एक्सप्रेसवे पर 9,000 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा खर्च किए गए हैं। आज से दिल्ली हरियाणा के बीच यातायात का अनुभव हमेशा के लिए बदल जाएगा। ये आधुनिक एक्सप्रेसवे केवल गाड़ियों में ही नहीं, बल्कि दिल्ली एनसीआर के लोगों की जिंदगी में भी गियर शिफ्ट करने का काम करेगा। मैं दिल्ली, एनसीआर और हरियाणा की जनता को इस आधुनिक एक्सप्रेसवे के लिए अनेक अनेक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।
India's Supreme Court on Monday dismissed the State Bank of India's plea seeking extension till the 30th of June to furnish details regarding electoral bonds. The court has ordered the SBI to hand over all the information to the Election Commission by the 12th of March, which is by Tuesday, which will upload it on its website by the 15th of this month, I beg your pardon. Also, on the contempt petition filed by the petitioner ADR, the court told the SBI that if it disobeys the orders in future, the court will initiate contempt proceedings against its chairperson. Now, so far, 22,217 bonds have been purchased between the 12th of April 2019 and the 15th of February 2024, which means a total of more than 44,000 documents are yet to be matched. On the 15th of February, the Apex Court had declared the electoral bond scheme unconstitutional and ordered the SBI to submit to the Election Commission by March, that is the 6th of March, the name of the person purchasing the bond, the amount of the bond, and the information about the party encashing that bond. India's President Draupadi Murmu has made her inaugural state visit to Mauritius on Monday. As a significant highlight of the visit, President Murmu will be the chief guest at the National Day celebrations of Mauritius on the 12th of this month, symbolizing a fresh chapter in the enduring camaraderie between the two nations. President Murmu will also hold bilateral meetings with the President of Mauritius, Prithviraj Singh Rupoon, and Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Kumar Jugnauth. And as part of her visit, the President also visited the botanical gardens in Mauritius along with her counterpart. Now, the latest round of Gaza ceasefire negotiations stalled last week in Egypt's Cairo, where, leaving Israel, the Hamas and the mediators were present. Talks reached a deadlock as Hamas did not accept a 6-week ceasefire agreement proposed by the mediators. Egypt, as a mediator, however, contacted with senior Hamas and Israeli figures on Sunday to continue promoting ceasefire negotiations. However, both remain far apart on key issues such as the definition and duration of the ceasefire, as well as how to release detainees. Meanwhile, the US President, in a press statement for Ramadan, said the US will continue to work towards a 6-week ceasefire between Hamas and Israel as part of the release of Israeli hostages, stressing the need for a two-state solution with equal measure of freedom, dignity, security and prosperity for both parties. Biden also added that the United States will continue to lead international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance into Gaza by land, air and sea, noting that the US, along with international partners, has been carrying out aid airdrops. He said the US will continue to work with Israel to expand deliveries to affected areas. As Ramadan begins in West Asia, Israel has said it will allow some number of worshippers into Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque at the start of Ramadan as previous years.
Ramadan, let the reasonable public prevail. Don't lend a hand to extremists. So today we reiterate that this year and every year, Israel will strongly safeguard the freedom of religion for all faiths at all sites in Israel, especially the Temple Mount and Al-Aqsa. To those that say no worshippers are being allowed access to Al-Aqsa for prayers, They are wrong. The entrance of worshippers to the Temple Mount will be permitted in similar numbers to previous years.
A painting of the earlier 20th century British Foreign Minister Arthur Balfour was defaced by a pro-Palestinian activist at Cambridge University's Trinity College in the UK. The activist was a member of the protest group Palestine Action. The group said Balfour's 1917 declaration was the reason the Palestinians lost their homeland to Israel. The Trinity College has regretted the damage and said support was available for college members. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has called for tougher policing of protests in light of an increase in hate speech. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has swiftly dismissed Pope Francis's call for talks with Russia as virtual mediation from a distance. Zelensky, in his video address, did not refer directly to Pope Francis or his remarks, but said the Pope's ideas had nothing to do with efforts by religious figures to help the country.
Who is with the army in the defense forces on the front line defending life and humanity. They support us with prayer, with talk and with deeds. This is what the church with people is, not 2,500 kilometers away, somewhere to mediate virtually between someone who wants to live and someone who wants to destroy you.
The International Atomic Energy Agency, that's the IAEA chief, Rafael Grossi, will be visiting the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant during his trip to Japan this week. Grossi is expected to check on the current situation after authorities began releasing treated radioactive water into the ocean in August last year. British aviation expert Simon Hardy says that the mysterious disappearance of Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 in 2014 could have been a mass murder plan by the pilot of the aircraft, Captain Zahari Ahmed Shah. Hardy's theory is based on various clues, including requests for additional fuel and oxygen for the cockpit before the flight's departure. The unemployment rate in Canada has ticked up 0.1% to 5.8%. The population growth continues to outpace employment growth in the country. Flooding and landslides in the Indonesian province of West Sumatra have killed over 26 people, with 6 still missing, said the authorities. After days of torrential rain, homes and stores were left damaged by the inundation, and sections of a muddy road collapsed into an adjacent river, while other roads were blocked by fallen trees. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live, Portugal's centre-right Democratic Alliance wins in Sunday's tight general election results. Taiwan's top security official says China is trying to normalize drills around it by conducting frequent patrols. And Oppenheimer scores 7 trophies, Poor Things bags 4 at the 96th Oscars.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. The Indian government implements Citizenship Amendment Act or CAA as a notification by the government has just been issued. The act has paved the way for persecuted to get Indian citizenship, persecuted minorities rather. That's the latest announcement that is coming in from the Indian government. The Citizenship Amendment Act has already been passed by Parliament, so it merely had to be notified with its rules, and that's what the government is doing now. It grants citizenship to persecuted minorities in India's neighboring countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, and these are from different religious communities except for one, which is Muslims, because they are not minorities in those countries. So this was an act which amended the Citizenship Amendment Act, rather the Citizenship Act of India in 1950, and that was already passed by Parliament. Both houses of Parliament had passed it, and now the government has decided to notify it. Dibendu, DD India's Dibendu Ghoshna joins me on live from our newsroom. On this, Dibendu, what more can you tell us about this decision? Why at this time, and what does it mean? Well, we're trying to re-establish our connection with Dibendu. Apparently his line got cut, but as you can see, this is an act that had already been passed in Parliament. It had been sort of kept in abeyance, but now the government has decided to notify the act, the Citizenship Amendment Act, and it will pave the way for a lot of these persecuted minorities who had come to India before the 31st of December 2014 from Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh. And these are people of a religious identity apart from or other than Muslim, because this category of people are in a majority in these countries. So anybody who's a Hindu, Sikh, Jain, Christian or of other faith who have come to India before the 31st of December 2014, they can be granted citizenship under this law. Now, Dibendu joins us from the newsroom. Dibendu, what more can you tell us about the timing and the implications of this decision?
Well, Gautam, that's right. You know, the government has finally notified the Citizenship Amendment Act that was passed in 2019. This was perhaps a bold promise of the BJP in 2019. It was part of the BJP's manifesto. It was soon after being elected to power in 2019, the government passed this bill in the parliament, and after almost 5 years, the government has now notified the Citizenship Amendment Act. It will be implemented across the country. Now, what does this act entail? This act basically will entail to provide citizenship to the persecuted minorities, be it from the Muslim majority countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan, as well as Bangladesh. These minorities would include all minority religions in those countries, which includes the Hindus, the Sikhs, the Buddhists, the Jains, and all other such persecuted minorities that have come to India or fear persecution in these three countries and have fled to India before 31st of December 2014. That was the cutoff date that was put by the government during the framing of the bill which was passed in 2019. So now we'll have to, of course, wait for the fine print of the procedure as to how the Citizenship Amendment Act will be implemented from here on. Once the Gazette notification is out, we'll get into the fine prints of the details of it. But of course, what we learn is that there will be a website through which the aggrieved citizens, or in fact the refugees who had come to India, the persecuted minority refugees who had come to India before 31st December 2014 will have to go into that website and will have to log in and put in their details to get the legal citizenship rights of India. So, of course, this is a big push by the government, of course, because the government had promised to give citizenship to the persecuted minorities in the neighboring countries of Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. There are many citizens who had come from Bangladesh and Pakistan and from Afghanistan during the many years since India's independence and had settled here, but did not have, the official legal rights to to be citizens of India. So, in fact, the government has promised even in 2019 that they will make way for all the persecuted minorities in these three countries and provide them a dignified life through legal rights and through legality here in India. And of course, the Citizenship Amendment Act seeing the light of the day today, when the government finally notifies it, of course, something that will, of course, go down in history as one of the remarkable law that was passed by the Indian Parliament in 2019. Back to you.
So the way is there an estimate of how many people will benefit from this notification, the rules coming out, and what all will really be their benefits? Because they have been here for at least the last 10 odd years or even longer. So what advantages will be accrued to them now that they have this opportunity to become citizens of India?
Well, of course, Gautam, these are the persecuted minorities who had been coming to India since 1947. Let me go state by state. Let us first speak about Bengal. There are millions of people who had fled from Bangladesh during independence. One segment of influx of migration, Hindu persecuted minorities, fled into India from Bangladesh during the 1947 India's partition. The second influx came in during 1971 India-Bangladesh liberation war that Bangladesh and Pakistan fought, and of course India was a part of it. So these minorities in Bangladesh were being persecuted. So these are the two major influx that happened during these times, and of course from over years, they have been coming into India to seek refuge. But why citizenship now? They have been living here, as you rightly said, for so many years, but what citizenship rights will they entail? Of course, many would argue that yes, they have their Aadhaar card, they have their voter ID card, so what more do they need? But remember, Gautam, this act now legally entitles them to become a citizen of India. There will not be any more police raj. There will not be any more. They will not be troubled by the police because they are. And
they can become registered voters as well.
Of course, they can be registered voters. They can
abroad.
they can legally have their passport. They do not have to be. They will not be troubled by the intelligence division of the state, or for that matter, the police of that state for considering them as refugees. Because many a times these refugees who had come to India, they had been living at the mercy of the police in those particular states, because they are perhaps not officially and legally citizens of India, which this law, when it is being implemented from today itself, is what we are learning, is will give them that dignity, that legal right to be officially called as citizens of India.
And the other question, of course, that really is there is that since the Act was passed in 2019, kept in abeyance till now, so why now?
Well, Gautam, of course, the Home Minister had said, many a times when he was asked with this question, even in 2020, that the rules were being framed for the Citizenship Amendment Act. But however, it required meticulous exercise, because remember, it is a very thorough law which had to be meticulously, the rules for which had to be meticulously drafted, because it is about giving citizenship to many, so that no wrong individual gets the citizenship of India. So the government had to meticulously design the law. And of course, the COVID-19 situation, which the world grappled with for 2 years, had of course delayed the implementation of this, as the Home Minister had on record said this. But of course, why now is of course because the government is ending its term in a couple of days from now, and it was a poll promise by the BJP during the 2019 election. It was part of the manifesto. So, it was time for the BJP to deliver it. And the BJP, for that matter, had promised to the many millions of people who voted for the BJP in 2019 that they will be given their due right of citizenship before the government seeks their vote in 2024.
Yes, the model code of conduct will come into force the moment elections are announced, right. And then the government wouldn't have been able to do it. But The other thing is, do we know anything about the rules? Does anything really stick out in them that would be of interest to a lot of people?
Well, we haven't been able to get a copy of the fine print of the rules, which will be out very shortly from now on. But once we have the rules, we'll of course go through it thoroughly and come back to you with what the rules entail for the entire Citizenship Amendment Act. And we'll of course have more details once the fine print is in our hands.
All right, let's leave it there at the moment. Dibyendu Mondal joining us and talking about how the government has decided to notify the Citizenship Amendment Act, which was passed in 2019, and now a lot of people who were persecuted in the neighboring countries in Afghanistan and Pakistan and Bangladesh will be eligible to get citizenship and can apply for it. Thanks, Dibyendu.
Thank you.
Now, India's meteorological satellite INSAT 3DS has initiated Earth imaging operations and sent the first glimpses of the beauty and complexity of the Earth through modern imager and sounder payloads on board the satellite. This data serves as crucial input for Indian scientists for meteorological studies, weather forecasts and understanding atmospheric dynamics. Now, some more updates from North India. The GPR survey of Agroha Mond, the archaeological site of Hisar, was inaugurated today. On this occasion, Haryana's Legislative Assembly Speaker Gyan Chand Gupta and Urban and Local Bodies Minister Kamal Gupta started the survey by running the survey machine. It's noteworthy that on the 3rd of March, Haryana government signed an MOU with the Archaeological Department of India for GPR survey of Agroha Mond. In the first phase GPR survey and later excavation work will start at the historical site. Portuguese citizens are worried after tight results in Sunday's general elections left no clarity on who would lead the country going forward. Portugal's centre-right Democratic Alliance won Sunday's general elections by a thin margin. Party leader Luis Montenegro, however, said that it was unclear if he could govern without the support from the far-right Chega party, with whom he has refused to negotiate. The far-right Chega party has warned the Democratic Alliance of instability if it's not included in the government. As China continues to step up its military activities near Taiwan with almost daily incursions into the island's airspace, Taiwan's top security officials said that by conducting frequent patrols, Chinese forces have been trying to normalize drills near the island. The Himalayan indigenous Sherpa community of Nepal celebrated New Year on Monday as Gyalpo Losar with family gatherings, traditional food and cultural events. Speaker of the House of Representatives of Nepal, Devraj Ghimire, sent best wishes for joy, peace and prosperity to all Nepalis on this occasion. Nepal's rich diversity is reflected in its various ethnic festivals. The 96th Academy Awards concluded with Oppenheimer bagging top honours including Best Picture, Director, Actor and Supporting Actor. Poor Things came up as runners-up with 4 wins. And that's all we have for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X as well as Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and for joining us all here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.